Entrepreneurship. But first, before we begin, I would like to thank our hosts and organizers for their warm hospitality, and please join me in an applause for them. So thank you very much. And well, I'm Professor Sula Luga from the University of Nicosia. I'm the head of the Digital Innovation Department and one of the directors at the Institute for the Future, dealing with blockchain, metaverse, and all these emerging technologies. Nice stuff. And with me, I have also my colleague, Professor Nicholas Nicolai, he's from the Communications Department, but together we complement each other on what he does and what I do, with technologies and with his policies and everything. So we're doing some good work together. And Nicholas, would you like to say something?
No, let the show begin.
All right.
Very excited for the presentation. So.
Well, we are going to begin our first presentation with Pedro Nunes Cacho. He's going to be presenting to us promoting entrepreneurship in the defense industry, the SuceavaJune regional project.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like also to express my gratitude to the organization of the conference, to this nice region, Bukovina, also the city, Suceava. I'm going to start with my presentation from Jaén University. I also would like to express our invitation to come to Jaén in the next events we can share there inside the Neolaya, okay? Well. 15, okay. Okay, I'm going to start with an entrepreneurship project that is developing in Jaén, related to defense industry, the SuceavaJune regional project. It's a project related to defense industry, and it's in the beginning of the project. I'm going to expound this point, the introduction, firstly, some explanation about the SuceavaJune, also speak about the promotion of the entrepreneurship in this ecosystem. Fourth, I am going to speak about civil sector adaptable to defense applications. Finally, I'm going to show the role of the startups in the development of this special military industry context. Well, to introduce the topic, we know the new international order of the BRICS of the USA government with the UN resolution about the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Also, we need to highlight the end of the liberal international order, especially with the imposition of reciprocal tariffs. In this point, Europe became vulnerable, so the position of EU is forced to reset our strategic autonomy. So, well, we are in this new geopolitical landscape with asymmetrical bilateral relations, great power competition, and the erosion of the multilateral institution. So this is the context. Into the military technologies, we can find a big chain, the transformation of military technologies, and we can show the apparition of unmanned system, the artificial intelligence and machine learning incorporated to the defense, the personic direct energy weapons, the cybersecurity and quantum cryptography, the additive manufacturing and new materials, and the biotechnology and biosecurity. I'm going to analyze some example of this transformation, especially all we know the power of the drones or all the unmanned system with the revolution that's supporting the current conflict of Ukraine. There are also an important point in the artificial intelligence, machine learning applied to intelligence, to cybersecurity, decision-making, all in the defense context. A third important transformation is the hypersonic and direct energy weapons. It's a new generation the cybersecurity and quantum cryptography, the protection of civil critical infrastructure, also the additive manufacturing with the 3D printing, where we have in Jaén a very important company named Meltio, working with 3D metals, with different agreement with the army and also with the different government in Europe. Finally, the transformation also the biotechnology and biosecurity. What there are new study here also. In this context, rise of a startup in this sector, because it was a sector dominance by large contractor, big companies in Spain. Indra or Navantia are the main contractor in defense industry. These new technologies impulse the startups, agile, focus on AI, drones, cybersecurity, and there is a faster innovation, a way to introduce new business model into the defense. In this context, the Spanish government designed a project that is now at the beginning stage. This is building. We hope that the next year will be finished the main campus, because it's in the format of campus with 222 million of investment, a very important number of direct and indirect jobs in the region in Jaén area. This technological center for defense development and implementation is focused on 3 areas: drones, defense system, autonomous intelligence vehicle, and also in artificial intelligence. This is the 3 areas that the CITEDEX is working. Well, around the CITEDEX, University of Jaén, another institution, promote innovation and technological development. We have a chair in defense, a new chair created by the university in defense. Also, there are a hub, especially to support the CITEDEX activities. There are also an innovation lab, an open innovation laboratory to promote the collaboration with local companies, with entrepreneurs. Also, the university has designed a micro-credential program specialized on defense training. In Linares, we have it's a city of Jaén province, near to Jaén, a high-tech incubator to strengthen this sector. So more or less, it's a context where the CITEDEX has been created. This is the ecosystem you can see with the companies and public administration support. Around the ecosystem, we have the innovation, the training program, the incubator, the chair of defense, and also the A hub. Well, it's important the promotion of this CITEDEX defense ecosystem as also an opportunity for places such as Jaén. Well, the different way that could be support this project. Well, firstly, funding, public support. Second, the creation of innovation ecosystem. Third, a topic that we have spoken today about the flexible regulatory frameworks. Fourth, the protection of intellectual property. And five, deduction, the amount that the companies are investing on defense research and development. In the first aspect about funding and public support, we think that the access to finance is a key driver for innovation for the companies. We know the programs such as European Defence Fund that allow us to use European funds to technology startup. This is a project from 2020 to 2027, this fund. Well, also, especially countries in conflict have launched wartime defense grants to support rapid prototyping about new methods to defense. Well, around the innovation ecosystem, we can highlight the accelerators. For example, Diana in NATO organization, or here in ZTX ecosystem, we have the high technology Linares Santana center linked to ZTX. Also, technology cluster, for example, similar to Tecnofest in Turkey or United with startup, military, university, industry link here are united. The idea also important idea about the enable knowledge transfer and rapid tech development. Other aspect that we say is the flexible regulatory frameworks. We can highlight the other transaction authorities. It's an American model where the startup reduce the number of bureaucracy and the paper that they need to property to register, to access to the fund and so on. Fourth, it's important also to impulse these companies around in the ecosystem, the protection of the intellectual property. The government need to design the model, while also impulse to future commercialization of this model. Well, after that, to impulse the sector, there are the military industry in the high-end region. We highlight different sectors that we consider that is adaptable to defense application that can change from a very competitive market where they are now working to defense industry that is waiting new companies has, for example, in Spain, is increasing the amount of money to spend on military industry. So this sector we are going to show now, firstly aerospace and aviation, different companies that we introduce here the concept of dual technologies that are useful for civil industry, but also are useful for military industry, different industry. Automotive and transportation, right, with example like GM Defense with the Hammer, electronic semiconductor with Intel, NVIDIA, and so on. That's change the element use key defense components. Robotic automation, where Boston, for example, Boston Dynamics apply robotics to surveillance of bomb disposal, or ABB that help the maintenance. Also, the energy and green technologies, where companies such as Tesla, Rolls-Royce, or Bloom Energy adapt battery, hydrogen, and microreactor to be used in the military bases. Another important sector, biotechnology and pharmaceutical, you know, is also a biomedical sensor and genetic tool could be explored for combat performance enhancement. The agriculture and food also could be useful for vertical farming system applied to bases isolated, or the agricultural drone that can be repurposed for border patrol. Lab grow meat for the food for the long mission to offer sustainable protein. And finally, the construction and infrastructure with, for example, 3D printing that fast development of base and runway, and also is a sector with a lot of future. I have told that Meltio company in Linares is developing very, very nice 3D printing of metal with metal. This machine are being used for the army to replace the part of the boat or even the flight. So it's a very important company now in the world. Other companies that also working in the rapid infrastructure setup that is in the context of war. Well, in this environment, in this ecosystem, the role of startups is important because we are a very disruptive innovation with artificial intelligence, with the drones and company, with the cybersecurity, etc. So we need to the startup could be the drivers of this innovation. Also, the startup could be generate strategic alliance with big contractors, with big companies. The startup also has the capability to design, prototype, agile, very fast tests that is needed here. And also, well, the startup would be boosting regional defense ecosystem, like in ZTD in Jaén. And it's important to attract young talent for the technology development and promote collaboration between university, industry, and government. There are specific funds for this reason, like NATO, European Defense Fund, and also that I have mentioned previously. Finally, the talent attraction is also very important here. They offer alternatives to traditional military careers. It's inspiration for new generations. Well, to conclude, in the moment, entrepreneurship is vital to defense innovation, a sector which is continually changing now. ZTX is a significant model for regional defense innovation, could serve as regional initiative to effectively promote entrepreneurship and technological development in the defense industry. Also, this is creating jobs and attracting investment. A supportive ecosystem around the defense companies like the defense startups, providing access to funding, facilitating collaboration, and so on, is very important to develop the sector. For the dual-use technologies, is also combining civil sector and defense sector is a very interesting area for the companies. The startup play a transformative role in this different landscape. Well, I think that the strategic promotion of defense entrepreneurship generated multiple benefits, including technological advance, economic growth in the region, and the attraction of new generation of innovation-focused talent. So that's all. Thanks for your attention. If you have any question, I'm here to listen.
Are there any questions for Pedro? Just a curiosity. Congratulations for your presentation.
Thank you.
Analysis of the ecosystem in the defense sector. I have just a curiosity about the origin of this startup in the defense sector. Have you any data about the origin of startups? They come from university, for example?
The origin is okay. Thank you. Well, the origin is the Spanish government that designed this new ecosystem. It's similar to other ecosystem in war, but the origin is government, the Spanish government, in collaboration with also with the university. In fact, the main installation on the ZTX is a campus. The Jaén University has an important research group in AI, artificial intelligence. The director of this group is also the director of ZTX. Well, we are all with the support of the local mayor, the camera commerce big companies, for example, Meltio, the company that I have said you previously, that is increasing in a very important way. We are trying to impulse. So because the government has the main investment, the 222 millions of euros. It's a big investment. But the important effect is that most of the companies around the CTDEX impulse the transformation of the region, because it's a very intensive also in creation of new jobs. Well, I think that is the origin. We have next year could be finished the main campus. After that, we're going to analyze how is the situation. Okay?
Any other questions? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pedro. Next, we have an interesting case study from Andalusia, and I'd like to invite Jose Luis, Ana Belén, Elia, and Domingo from the University of Iowa.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Domingo. Okay, I'm going to put the presentation. Don't
Skip.
work? Okay.
Skip, yeah, minimize this or close it.
Okay.
So, do you see yours?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure for me to be here. It's a pleasure. Okay.
Oops. Just press down.
Okay. It's a pleasure to me to be. It's a pleasure to me to be here. Thank you for your kind welcome to the organization. I'm going to present this communication about the influence of new technologies on the economic efficiency of rural businesses, the case of Andalusia. I elaborate this communication with my team, Professor Ana Belén, Professor Elia, Professor José Luis Durán, with this professor from the University of Jaén. Going to the introduction section, rural development is influenced by many external factors, including globalization, transport infrastructure, and information and communication technology, ICT, digital technologies. According to Tirado and Ballesteros, 2018, rural tourism serves as a strategic pillar, economic diversification and sustainability. Within this context, local restaurant enterprises contribute significantly by offering authentic experiences, generating employment opportunities, and preserving cultural traditions. Going to the research gap and aim, although technology is widely recognized as a driver business success, few studies have especially examined the relationship between a technological variable and efficiency, economic efficiency in rural restaurant businesses, rural entities. Our study aims to fill this gap by assessing the impact of technology related to business factors on the efficiency of rural restaurant enterprises in Andalusia. We test two main hypotheses. First, technology variables have a significant effect on financial performance. And second, financial performance, in turn, influences overall business efficiency. Going to the methodology section, our sample consists of 88 rural restaurant enterprises of Andalusia. Financial data were sourced from the Iberian balancer of SABI. SABI is the data sheet, Iberian balance sheet analysis system, while technological data were gathered using Social Searcher. Social Searcher is an online platform to obtain different metrics of website, of social network, a tool for online reputation. The analysis approach combines data development analysis, DEA, and reflective structural equation of modeling using partial least square. Specifically, we measured economic efficiency using the classic model, BBC and CCR, Barnett, Turner and Cooper, and Turner, Cooper and Rhodes, professor. And then technological impact through metrics such as online reviews, videos, photos, business status, and in general, different online reputation indicators, and financial variable including expenses, personal costs, material cost, and sales revenue. Later, to ensure that the data quality, we applied the super efficiency model, super efficiency data development analysis, to detect outlier. Two cases exhibited super efficiency score above 2, and were excluded from the analysis. Going to the results section, the results indicated that on average, rural restaurant businesses demonstrate a strong level of technology efficiency, with a mean score of 84.98%. However, only about 1/3 of firms, of entities, achieve a level of efficiency considered truly excellent. And variability among businesses is notable, is higher. Economic efficiency score average is around 75%, with only 1 in 4 companies reaching the efficiency benchmark. Again, a considerable disparity exists among entities, as are reflected in the standard deviation. Going to PLS model, we validated our PLS model by assessing reliability, convergence, and discriminant validity, as well as conducting robustness check. This analysis confirmed that technological variables, or technological factors, are significantly linked to financial performance, reinforcing our initial hypothesis. Finally, going to the discussion and conclusion section, our findings corroborate the pivotal role of digital tools in rural business success, consistent with a prior research by Duran, Fernandez, 2022-2024, and other authors in the same line. Improving online reputation, enhance business resiliency, and competitive advantage. Another discussion, moreover, the integration of rural tourists, online reputation management, and operational efficiency is essential to foster sustainable growth in rural areas. In rural areas. Importantly, digitalization complement rather than conflict with the preservation of local industry, demonstrating that technology can supply cultural-rooted development. Therefore, ICT and reputation management emerge as critical drivers of sustainable rural economic development. In conclusion, our study highlights the possibility influences of new technology, digital technology, on the efficiency of the rural restaurant entities in Andalusia, and the importance of these foresting digital capabilities in rural enterprises. Thank you so much for your attention, and I remain at your disposal for any question.
Thank you, Domingo. Do we have any questions? Yeah, to that.
Yes.
Yes. How many, do you have an idea how many restaurants are there actually in Andalusia region? How big was the
In our study, all Andalusia. 88.
So it's the total number.
I understand. Yes, because we obtained the data of the data sheet of SAVI. SAVI, System Iberian Balance Sheet. This database have 88 entities.
Okay.
For that reason,
So the system,
we can access to 88 entities, the data of these entities.
okay. Thank you.
So sorry, I can't hear. Thank you. You're welcome.
Anyone else? Thank you, Domingo.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to our next speaker. We have Progobi Florin Gusal and Alina Ramona Bnunariu, and I guess Alina will be presenting. She will be presenting to us Bridging Innovation and Entrepreneurial Growth in Science and Technology Parks, Insights from Romania and the European Union.
Just a quick second not to forget something for the last minute. Hello, my name is Alina Butnariu, and I'm an alumni here at the university, also a PhD along with my partner, Florin Gușul, also having a PhD in economics. After that, we've encountered another provocation in our life. We represent a science and technology park here in Suceava County, the only one in the northeast region of Romania. And we've decided to focus our research today on how to bridge innovation and entrepreneurial growth in science and technology parks. Some insights from Romania, early innovator, yeah, and European Union. The research article we are working on approaches the nexus between innovation and entrepreneurial dynamics within the science and technology parks, which is an infrastructure that you will see bridges several stakeholders within the public and the private fields. In Romania, we are only at the beginning with developing these science and technology parks, but we have here strong innovators in the room, with Spain and also Italy having science and technology parks for several years now, for several decades, and they are doing a truly wonderful job with this infrastructure. We feel that this subject is crucial as it reflects the urgent need for regions such as northeast region of Romania, particularly in Central and Eastern Europe, to enhance their innovation capacities, which have traditionally lagged between those of Western Europe. The added value of our research lies in the exploration of how the science and technology parks can foster environments that conduct to innovation and entrepreneurship within technology and entrepreneurship education, ultimately aiding in the economic development of the regions. To explore the science and technology parks' role is our main purpose of our research, as they are engines of innovation and entrepreneurial dynamics, particularly in the current Romanian context. Also, our research addresses the gaps in the literature regarding science and technology parks and provide actionable insights on what to do in the near future that can facilitate entrepreneurial growth and innovation. Specific objectives of our research include assessing the current state of science and technology parks in Romania, identifying structural and operational characteristics that influence their effectiveness, examine the relationship between various stakeholders within these parks, including entrepreneurs, academia, researchers, government institutions, and how this relationship impact innovation outcomes. Also, we aim at identifying best practices from successful science and technology parks in Romania, but mostly in other European countries. And also to propose, we plan on proposing some policy recommendation that could enhance the operational frameworks of science and technology parks legislation to better support innovation-driven entrepreneurship. Our methodological approach involves mixed method strategies with qualitative and quantitative data collections. May I add here that we are in the middle of these researches. We are still receiving surveys that were administered to various stakeholders, including entrepreneurs, researchers, and policy makers. And also we plan on further analyze some case studies of successful science and technology parks in Romania and comparatively analyzing it with some EU counterparts. We expect that our research will demonstrate a positive correlation between the activities fostered in the science and technology parks and entrepreneurial outputs in Romania. Also, we are expecting that the findings will suggest the need for continuous investment in technology, infrastructure, and education. I've seen today some remarkable studies within the Neolea consortium about education and importance of education in entrepreneurial and other fields that will boost this issue of innovation and economic growth in the near future. And we plan on using some of the results in this project to boost our research as well. I would like to add that the science and technology parks we represent is a young one. The Science and Technological Park in Siret had been started its activity last year, yeah, and we also have been receiving some positive feedback from abroad with this activity. Although the technological equipment is not very available for us, yeah, we're in the economic field, we believe that events that will attract entrepreneurs, also foreign entrepreneurs and local, will boost the activity in the science and technological park. Also, another issue with the Science and Technological Park in Siret is that we believe that technological transfer, entrepreneurship, is not these are not only issues with academia. We start talking to youngsters in high schools about robotics, how to be an entrepreneur, just to prepare them for the future life of a student or entrepreneur. And they are very receptive to this information, as they will be future innovators in their adult life. We believe that starting education with entrepreneurship in young ages is a key to a good entrepreneur, an excellent entrepreneur in the future. Thank you.
Any question for Alina? I have some comments. Congratulations, Alina. It's a very nice presentation. Yes, we have a very good network and relation with the park. And I know that Alina and Corinne organize different events there. The event for the community, and also it's a place that can be used also for trainings, for summer school, because they have also facilitate, they work on facilitate to have accommodation for the students. And my question and recommendation is to go in this direction, and if you underline some concrete action that you offer for the region, and that can help the entrepreneurs to invest there.
We
I
are
know that you have some very nice examples of this.
in the science, in Siret, in the Science and Technological Park, we have now two main directions. First of all, securing an ongoing financing for physical investment, growing the infrastructure there, and also for potential research projects and events, business events, and something that will attract more and more attention. A second area of interest for us is to have a growing network of stakeholders to link them together in order for entrepreneurs as well as those coming to invest there, and why not benefiting from the fiscal exemption of taxes in the industrial park. Also to have local entrepreneurs to boost them together. We've seen today the example of Piazza Volante. You know, local entrepreneurs just getting together. It's good for my business, it's good for your business, being together. So this is our main focus on in the future.
Congratulations for your presentation and for the topic of your presentation. First of all, I completely agree with you about the idea to start the entrepreneurship education since young, with young people, because entrepreneurship is also a question, a matter of mindset, not only competencies on entrepreneurship, but also a mindset. So I completely agree with you. About your proposal, I have just a suggestion in order to increase the effectiveness of your research. Because you say, based on your qualitative approach, that the most important impact of scientific technology part is about the connection, the network, the relationship that we can create among the different stakeholders in entrepreneurship. I think I would suggest to apply the social network theory to study the collaboration, the relationship between different actors, that the theory that give a representation of the structure of the relationship and could increase the reliability of your study.
There's a very good idea. We really do appreciate this. There's a new perspective on our research, and we will consider it, of course. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, moving on. I'd like to invite Andrea Dominici. I hope I have pushed your last name. Who will present on bridging digital skills. This is
My name is Andreea Domniței, and my paper is about bridging digital skills and sustainable development goals, an analysis in context of the 2030 digital decade. The Digital Decade Policy Program 2030 established a framework for monitoring and collaboration to achieve shared goals to Europe's digital transformation, focusing on four main objectives: digital skills, digital infrastructures, digital transformation of the business, digitalization of public services. Progress toward this digital target is measured by DESI, which is Digital Economy and Society Index. According to the report of the State of the Digital Decade 2024, Romania demonstrated notable achievement in the digitalization of public services and small and medium-sized enterprises, while also sustaining a strong performance in fiber-to-premises coverage. However, despite ongoing efforts, Romania continue to face significant challenges in improving basic digital skills among the general population, and a substantial gap persists in reaching at least the basic digital skills decade target set for 2030. The purpose of the paper is to analyze, based on DESI 2024, the position of Romania and other European Union countries regarding basic digital skills across the population in relation to digital decade target, and the analysis is splitted by age, by education attainment, and by gender. Finally, I have put it together the main conclusions drawn from this research I have reviewed, highlighting that investing in basic digital skills is not merely a social or educational initiative, it's a strategic investment in the technological future of an economy and a key driver of sustainable development. For the record, an individual is considered to possess basic or above basic digital skills if he demonstrates proficiency in all 5 of the following competence area: information and data literacy, communication and collaboration, digital content creation, safety, and problem solving. As we see next, digital skills of individuals is a KPI for 2030 Digital Decade Policy Program. In the first table, we will observe the percentage of individuals with at least basic digital skills. We have one comparison between Romania and the European Union regarding DESI 2023-24. We have also calculated annual growth, and we have put it there also the digital decade target for 2030. The value gap, which is important, we have 24% gap for European Union and 22% for Romania, but the digital decade target, it's different. For Romania, it's also only 50%, while for European Union, it's 80%. And the annual growth needed for 2030, which is 3.5% per year for EU, and for Romania, 3.2% annual growth needed by 2030. So in the first figure, we see that in 2023, 56% of individuals in EU aged between 60 and 74 years possessed at least basic digital skills, up from 54 in 2022. This figure remains much below 24%, the EU target set it for 2030, which is 80%, as I said before. In the recent year, the EU experienced a mere 1.5 annual progression, which is below the necessary average annual growth over 3.5 to meet the target for 2030. Recent trends underscore the urgent need for significant and immediate efforts to bridge the gap towards the target set for 2030 for at least basic digital skills. As we see in this figure, the distribution of digital skills varies significantly across EU member states. The highest proportion were observed in Netherlands, in Finland, while in Romania and Bulgaria are the lowest. Recent developments highlight the pressing necessity to substantial and immediate action to close the gap toward achieving the target set for 2030 policy program. We have to mention that a digitally skilled population serves as a foundational layer to development of highly skilled digital professionals. Without a digital literate population, we cannot have a sustainable pipeline of advanced digital professionals. The next table, we have here the structural characteristics of individuals with at least with ages between 16 and 74. It's important to mention that I have in sight first the age, and we have 16 to 24 years old, 25 to 54 years old, 55 to 74 years old, and then we have no or low formal education, then we have medium formal education, and then we have high formal education, and then for all the population split it between females and males. We have Romanian versus European Union. We have some insights here. Younger age groups exhibit higher digital proficiency. For instance, 70% of individuals aged 16-24 possesses at least basic digital skills, whereas only 37% of those aged 55 to 74 do, highlighting the persistent generational digital divide. 80% of individuals with higher education have at least basic digital skills compared to 34 among those with no or low formal education. This disparity underscores the role of formal education in facilitating digital inclusion. Overall, men slightly outperform women in digital skills. However, among younger age groups, women tend to have higher digital proficiency, while in older age groups, men have this advantage. In Romania, also I have mentioned some insights. Approximately 47% of Romanians' young population has at least basic digital skills, compared to 70% the average for EU. This gap suggests that even among digital natives, Romania faces structural challenges in digital education and access. Regarding older adults, digital inclusion is particularly limited in this group. Nevertheless, a positive trend was recorded. One of the most critical disparities is observed across different education levels. Only 28% of Romanian individuals aged 16 to 74 possessed at least basic digital skills, substantially below the EU average, which is 56%. The gap becomes even more pronounced when disaggregate by levels of educational attainment. Only 12.8% for the low level of education, while 63.9 of individuals with higher levels of education possesses at least basic digital skills. Regarding gender, there are no significant differences between sexes. Let's say that on average, men tend to have better digital skills than women, but both figures are significantly lower than the EU average. And we have a graphic figure about the distribution on the countries by the age. We have here 5 lines. The black one, it's regarding the digital decade target. We have the green, the young adults. Then we have yellow line, which are the adults, the core working age population, and the red line, the adults between 55 to 74 years old. Let's say blue line as a conclusion. The EU average is for the total population is 56, very, let's say, below the 80% 2030 target, as I said, marked with the black line. Only a few countries, such as Netherlands, Finland, and Denmark, are on track to meet or have already exceeded this target. This steep drop observed in many countries indicates the need for accelerating policy action, particularly in digital inclusion and lifelong learning. We have a similar analysis on formal education. I have split the population in 3 groups. We have no or low formal education, medium formal education, and high formal education, the green line. As we observe, the green line is much above the digital target set for 2030. Overall trend, blue line, the average for general population remains well below the target, let's say 56% versus 80%. The overall lines reflect the strong influence of educational attainment on national average and highlights the critical role of inclusive education policies in advancing digital skills for all. We have to mention, it's very important, that the green line, the individuals with high formal education, consistently exhibits the highest level of digital skills across all EU member states. In leading countries such as Netherlands, Finland, and Denmark, over 90% of individuals with tertiary education possesses at least basic digital skills. Even in lower performing countries such as Romania and Bulgaria and Poland, this demographic achieves notably higher digital proficiency than other educational groups, typically exceeding 60%. These results reflect the strong positive correlation between educational attainment and digital competence. And the last analysis is by gender, male and female. We have considered the whole population between 16 and 74 years old. As we see, according to the most recent DESI and Eurostat data, gender disparities in basic digital skills across the European Union are relatively narrow, yet they persist in certain countries and among older age groups of those with lower education levels. So we have for men 57%, and for women we have 55%. Key observation, younger generation show no significant gender gap, suggesting generational progress toward parity. In many northern and western EU countries, women slightly outperform or match men in basic digital skills. In contrast, in some Eastern and Southern EU countries like Romania, Bulgaria, Italy, men tend to have higher rates of digital proficiency, particularly in older age group. Overall, the gender gap in Romania is modest. Both sexes are far below EU norms, but it appears younger women have a slight edge while older women fell behind men. Basic digital skills are foundational in unlocking the full potential of sustainable development by empowering people, driving innovation, enhancing resource efficiency, fostering inclusive governance. Basic digital competences are not only essential for navigating everyday life, but also act entry points into more advanced domains, including data science, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and software development. Without them, many sustainable initiatives risk exclusion and inefficiency, undermining long-term progress. And I mentioned here empowerment and inclusion, economic growth and innovation, environmental awareness and action, efficient resources management, education and lifelong learning, governance and participation. Strengthening digital competencies among the population fosters innovations, inclusive growth, and environmental responsibility, and contribute meaningfully to both economic and sustainable development. And the main conclusion for me is that investing in basic digital skills is directly an investment in the future development of an economy. And the conclusion for Romania and the trend. Data from DESI and Eurostat show that Romania is far behind on basic digital skills. That means that Romania lacks the EU digital decade goals and will require massive upskilling efforts. Very important for Romania. There are some programs adopted and ongoing, like Digital Decade Agenda 2020, Smart Edu Skill for IT, Recovery and Resilience Plan for Romania, which includes those dozens of measures and reforms to both digital skills and infrastructures. And overall conclusions and policy recommendation, it's important here to what we do with this information. We have to act in a way. We have here a strong age gradient in digital skills, with younger people generally outperforming older generation. There are geographical disparities which persist, with Northern and Western EU countries performing significantly better than other Eastern and Southern counterparts. So the data underscore a clear educational gradient in digital competence. Higher formal education correlates strongly with greater digital skills levels. To achieve the Digital Decade 2030 objectives, EU member states must prioritize integrating digital competencies across all levels of formal education, expanding lifelong learning and digital upskilling opportunities for adults with low educational attainment, and targeting regional disparities through tailored national strategies and EU-level funding mechanisms. Regarding gender, encouraging female participation in digital education and upskilling programs, supporting inclusive digital literacy initiatives targeting women in rural, older, or low educational demographics, and promoting role models and mentors for women in tech to foster greater representation in advanced digital professions. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea, very much. We open the floor now for questions.
Thank you very much. It's very true. I studied DESI for 2024 much deeper. Are many analyses which can be made, and take very serious conclusion and act on the point. Not general policies applied to general population, but targeting some categories, groups of people which are below this, let's say, minimum percentage to have at least basic digital skills. But a lot of analysis can be made, and are very are explaining very well what is going on in the structure of the population. Thank you very much.
All right, we're continuing then with our next speaker. Well, we have Odilia Kramarius and Carmen Nastase, and well, Odilia will be presenting to us on Romania's innovation gap, challenges and opportunities in the European innovation landscape.
Hi, everybody. My name is Odilia Carmariu. I'm a PhD student in economics. I also work in Tech Transfer Center of the university. And today I'm going to talk about challenges and opportunities that Romania faces in the European innovation landscape. This research is based on data from the European Innovation Scoreboard, Global Competitiveness Report, EU Country Profiles Report, and Mario Draghi Report on the future of European competitiveness, providing a comprehensive overview of where Romania stands in the innovation landscape. The research objectives are to analyze Romania's innovation performance compared to other EU countries, and also to identify key challenges and opportunities to closing the innovation gaps. This also means understanding not only where Romania ranks, but why it ranks there, including structural, institutional, and policy-based factors. Theoretical frameworks, stages of economic development. The Global Competitiveness Report groups EU countries' economies based on development stages in innovation-driven, efficiency-driven, and transition economies. Innovation-driven means high-income advanced economies, such as Germany or Sweden. Efficiency-driven countries are countries that are improving processes, but not yet innovation-driven, as Romania is. Transition economies are on the way to innovation-led, like Estonia or Poland. Romania remains in the efficiency-driven category, which explains its reliance on adapting existing technologies. Romania's position in the EU, according to European Innovation Scoreboard, Global Competitiveness Report, EU countries are classified in innovation leaders. These are mainly Scandinavian countries, strong innovators, countries like Belgium, Germany, Austria, Cyprus, Ireland, France, moderate innovators like Spain, Italy, Portugal, Greece, Czech Republic, Lithuania, and emerging innovators like Croatia, Poland, Bulgaria, and Romania. So as I was saying, Romania is an emerging innovator with the lowest level of innovation performance among EU countries. For 2024, Romania's summary innovation index was a third of EU average, 34 compared to EU average, which was 110. Innovation evolution in Romania. Among the progresses made by Romania regarding innovation, we can mention the fact that Romania has the highest broadband penetration in the EU, 144% of EU average, 12.8% increase in number of foreign PhD students, which shows rising research attractiveness, 3.8% increase in research quality since 2017. There are also challenges like digital skills are weak. Only 21.3% of the population has above basic digital proficiency. Also, low quality and limited research and development spending affect industrial capabilities, and innovation commercialization results are weak. When it comes to innovation investment and funding, public research and development spending has dropped and private investment is stagnant. There are programs dedicated to innovation such as Startup Nation, some competitiveness innovation program Axis, Romanian Commercial Bank Seed Starter program, funding from the Ministry of Investment and European project, funding from Regional Development Agency. But now multi-annual budget means unpredictability for research and development actors. The main problem in innovation activity in Romania is the fact that innovation is not linked to what market needs, which leads to research results having a low commercial potential. Also, there is a major gap between academia and economic environment, and a weak partnership between universities and private actors that could further develop and commercialize research results. In regard of Romanian entrepreneurial landscape, some relevant positive trends for Romania are the fact that new business creation, 2.1%, more than double the EU average, which is 0.8%. So very dynamic ecosystem, let's say. Foreign direct investment inflow, 3.1% of GDP, in euro is 1.9%. High number of STEM graduates. There are also challenges like brain drain. Romania loses highly skilled, talented people, researchers mainly. Innovation collaboration among SMEs is very low. Conservative investment culture restricts startup funding. Innovation potential and barrier in Romania. Romania has a high number of non-innovator with potential. Companies that could innovate, but they prefer not to. 27% versus 17.8% of EU average. But also has 62.4% non-innovators with no willingness to innovate. Only 2.9% of internal processes innovators, only 0.5% of non-innovators engage in innovation support actions. Structural barriers include low IP protection incentives, risk-averse entrepreneurship culture, lack of access to funding, especially regionally. Main conclusion or strategic recommendation, let's say, to bridge the innovation gap, Romania should increase research and development funding to at least 1% of GDP, support tech transfer centers, incubators, and university industry collaboration, improve venture capital and business angel investor incentives, address brain drain with diaspora engagement and better opportunities, simplify IP legislation, and integrate innovation culture in education. The Mario Draghi report stresses the need for Europe to turn inventors into investors, and this applies critically to Romania. Without bold reforms, Romania risks being left behind economically in the EU. Thank you. For sure, we already collaborating through our tech transfer entity, which serves the East European border technological park from Siret, which is specialized in Industry 4.0 and smart destinations. So yes, we already collaborate.
From now on.
For sure. Thank you very much. Just a suggestion.
This topic, my main research area, so I'm very interested in all the topics that have been discussed today. So, your example about the Romania Congress is very interesting, and is a problem that also we have in Italy, and in particular in South
Oh.
Italy. My personal idea is that a sort of top-down approach with a lot of public intervention, instrument, financial support, and so on, is important, but I think that we need to integrate a top-down approach with a bottom-up approach. So, and in this context, I think that it's very important to work on the culture of innovation. That is one of the points that you suggest in your final recommendation. So work on the culture of innovation, the culture of entrepreneurship at academic level, but also working with small sources, in general with industries, which that simple to collaborate with the academic side for difference of time, difference of language, and so on and so on. So I think that the challenge for countries like Romania, south of Italy, is this kind of challenge to integrate a top-down approach with the bottom-up approach. Because I think that the top-down is important, but it's not enough.
Yeah. Yes. I totally agree. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. We have one last intervention by Professor Carmen de Pablos Heredero from the University of Rey Juan Carlos from Madrid. So,
I have to switch this on. Is that possible?
maybe it's on the other side. No, it's on the other side. Here. Turn it around. Turn it around, yeah.
Well, thank you for inviting me to take part in this another event, because I was taking part during this week in a well-being event from Neolalia Network. But as I was coming from Madrid, Spain, and I knew that there are some doctoral students here, I proposed to do a seminar on this topic. However, we don't have too much time, so I will summarize, and I will send Angela my slides, because I have more information that can be helpful, especially for doctoral students that are in the process of publishing papers in high-impact journals. So I am a full professor in the area of business administration at the Rey Juan Carlos University, and director of the Master of Logistic Process SAP and Master in Business Organization. And I am the coordinator of a high-performance group which is called Open Inno. I will explain you. Our university is a very big-sized university in Madrid. We have around 4,600 students, more than 600 international students of 116 different nationalities, and we have many different campuses in the east part, south part, and in central Madrid too. There is a video that you can, as you will have this presentation, you can have a look. Our university, although we are a very large university, big university situated in different parts of Madrid community and Madrid itself, we have a very good transport system too. go to any of the campus. So you can go either on metro, train, or bus. All are very well connected in the same campus. Open Innovation is a high-performance research group. This is the webpage where we collaborate with some other universities in Spain and outside Spain, and it is a very multidisciplinary research group. So we are very focused on these topics. The main spirit of the group is to analyze open innovation practices and the results of these open innovation practices, and at the same time to see how entrepreneurial and institutional initiatives can help to promote open innovation practices and what are the benefits. And we have these big areas of research. One is open data reuse, how we can best use open data portals and the data that are in open data portals to create firms, to create value from the social perspective, economic and environmental perspective. We have another great area of research focused on relational coordination, on how the quality of teamwork has a positive impact in the final performance of firms. Entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship, we have lots of initiatives. I will let you know. Let's see, for example, dealing with entrepreneurship, because I see that this is very focusing on entrepreneurship. We have business incubators in the university. They belong to Madrid community or Madrid town hall, but we manage from the university these business incubators. So we have lots of different entrepreneurial initiatives that are incubated with the pieces of advice from our professors, lecturers. Besides, we participate every year in a very well-known ranking of incubators in Spain and in Latin America and accelerators in Spain. And we promote different initiatives in order to train students to become entrepreneurs, and at the same time we try to incentivize them by offering prizes for the best final plans that they present. So, and this implies financing for their projects, apart from the different helps that they can receive from the business incubators. Well, we are not in Neolalia network, because Neolalia is composed more by small size cities, especially, or universities in more small size cities. But I have seen here, especially in the other seminar where I have stayed for a longer time, that we have lots of different kinds of collaboration. We can establish lots of collaborations, but we are part of many different European projects. This is the last one where we are. This is the third year. Now it's in implementation. It's a Smart WB, and we had the opportunity to collaborate with many different universities from European countries and non-European countries that want to become European countries, such as Montenegro, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Albania, and Serbia is with us too. And this is a project oriented to promote a more climate-smart urban development in different cities. So, the idea of my intervention is just to offer some pieces of advice to support publication process, to prepare some insights, to prepare an article before sending for publication, and some about the revision process. Why is interesting? Because I think it can help to improve abilities to publish and provide feedback to the revision process. The context is very hard, because we all, it doesn't matter if we are very mature or not mature, we feel very insecure when we send a paper to a high impact journal, because we have the fear of receiving hostile feedback. And this is true because the desk rejection in high impact journals is around 80% and 95%. So this is something that we have to count on with. I recommend you this very nice paper. All the papers that I am showing you here are open access, so you can access them, from Professor Yogis Dwivedi, how to develop a quality research article and avoid a journal desk rejection, because it's very clear, very simple, and he offers clear fingerprints on how to. This is a more new article, but this is a more ancient article. This was published in 1916, but it's very clear too, very simple and very easy to follow, and it helps a lot in order to think in publishing, no? And they offer these different pieces of advice: try, persist, stress key messages, be coherent with editorial aims, tune with the journal, consider that this has to do with teamwork. So the starting points when I try to write an article for a high impact journal is to have very clear that a research gap is different to a contribution, and both are extremely important, and both must be in any article that I want to publish. Another important thing is that it's very important to send articles only when they fulfill requirements. From the deep perspective, from the content perspective, and from the format perspective. Sometimes I have, or you may have a very good article, but it does not fit within the editorial. And this is very important because some journals are very clear in what they are expecting, they want to receive. And they are clear too in expressing what is not good enough for them, because not because it could not be useful from the research perspective, just because it's not aligned with the editorial board mainly. And this is very important. It's very important to read a lot of, as much articles as possible, and especially recent articles from the journal you wish to send, because you have to be very tuned with that journal. And the way to be tuned with the journal is try to read a lot of articles that has been published in the last year in that journal. Titles must each time more. They are asking for short titles, very simple, that can be remembered and around the key topic. And don't forget always that this rejection is between 80 and 95%. So if it is the first or the second time that you are trying to send an article to a high impact journal, you have to be very patient and be very resilient, because it's complex, it takes time, and for sure, first time, and second and third, maybe you are rejected. And potentially you will have, for the first time, a major revision, and a major revision is a very good piece of news, because they offer you the opportunity to improve your work. And all can be trained. So here it's very important to select the journal, prepare and write the paper with a structure. This is the typical structure of most papers. It doesn't matter in which field, area of research we are. And I have included in red especially two parts, introduction and discussion. Introduction is where the research gap is identified, and is what they are looking in the introduction. They are looking for more things, but this is extremely important. And in the discussion, they are looking for the contribution. And these are in red because they, from my perspective and according to my experience, are the more complex part to do in any article. Because in the introduction, you must show that you know about what you are trying to go in deep in. So you must have clear evidences, not only from the academic perspective, but also from the real life perspective. So you have to show figures, and very updated figures of what is happening, and why this is a very interesting topic to go on. And at the same time, you have to identify that although there is a lot of research on this topic, or there might be lots of research, there's an opportunity to provide something that has not been done before. And this is where you can enter. And then establish clearly the objective, but it is very important to anticipate the practical implications or contribution after the objective. You can use objective and research questions, but to anticipate a little contributions and end with a last paragraph with the main structure of the paper. And in the discussion is very important because this is the only place in an article when one author or a group of authors, co-authors, can offer an opinion about the results according not only based on what it has already previously been done, but according to their own experience as an expert in this topic. And this is very important for the discussion. So a person who is very well trained and has a lot of experience in the field he or she is doing research is much better prepared to do a very good discussion. And this is the only part of an article where you can really opine or face what it has been resulted as a consequence of your research, and what the common sense and the political situation and the context is about, and how this relates or unrelates with what you have found it. So it's very important too to send the papers to the journals. I think that many doctoral students are very afraid of sending. So they try to delay the moment for sending, but once that your supervisor understands and informs you that is more or less prepared, it's very important to send, although you receive, because if you don't send, you don't get feedback, and you miss chances for publication. And the blind review is very important too. There are many different types of research. So many doctoral students are afraid because they think that they can contribute from a descriptive perspective or more exploratory perspective, but if we have a look at high impact journals in our fields, you can see that in many of these high impact journals, you have all these kinds of research. Not only your articles that try to create theory or evolve theory or discuss theory, or that they are very complex because they are using very complex statistical methods, but you can find that a mere descriptive, well-written paper could be a good paper for a high-impact journal. Two. Here I have included some links with pieces of advice that can be useful, so you will have the presentation, and I recommend you to have a look at this, especially the first one, because it's very clear, and some links of interest. For example, this is some simple recommendations on how to write a successful journal paper. Of course, I think that the case here is the same, but in Spain, most outstanding high-impact journals are those that are located in the GCR index or SGJR index, Scopus on Web of Science. And it depends on the quartiles. First quartiles it is supposed to be better than second quartile, third, and fourth quartile. And this is the journal finder. I recommend some of my students to use journal finders. All the big editorials have one. Springer, Elsevier, all have one. And it helps you, if you have more or less clear the purpose of your article and what you are expecting from results, you can include a short summary in one of these journal finders, and they help you to search which journals best fit for your future article. So this is good because it helps you. Well, this is the, I know that most students know how to find out the impact of a journal. These are some false myths that, in my experience, they are false myths, so this does not happen. We sometimes think that high-impact journals do not accept conceptual or theoretical papers. This is not true. High-impact journals only accept very few topics, very new topics. This is not true. We are accustomed to publish very mature topics, but we try to be creative with these very mature topics, and they still are of interest on these journals. High-impact journals would not consider a paper that has not been considered previously for less impact journal. This is not true. And high-impact journals do not access qualitative methods, only very complex quantitative once, from my perspective, from my experience, this is not true. This is an example. For example, this paper was written some years ago and was published in this journal that at that time was a high impact journal. But previously, because just we thought it was a very simple descriptive paper, we didn't dare to send it to one of these high impact journals. So we started, this is what the delivery of this article. We just draw the ecosystem of data reusers. So we identified the different types of data reusers, the people that are more keen on using open data portals. And this is something very simple, but this is something that has not been published before. So we decided to go with this description. So before we tried to send this paper to different other journals that, from our perspective, have less impact. But at the end, after 2 years, we decided to go to this one that had an upper impact factor, and it was accepted. Of course, all the feedback that we received in the meanwhile from all the different journals was useful. And this is something that you realize once that you see your article has been published. You get angry because you receive very hostile feedback. And sometimes, from my experience, sometimes it's more difficult to face to what the reviewers are telling you to do than to start again with a new article. But at the end, and with perspective, if once you see your paper has been published, you realize that it was worth it, that you have a better publication now. You feel grateful for what they told you in the meantime. Here you have some recommendations about the selection of a journal, but you will have it. It's very important to have a look to the for example, if you are preparing for a conference, a paper, some international conference today offer you the opportunity to choose your paper and go with this paper or try to publish this paper in a high impact journal that is a collaborator of the conference. And I suggest, and I think this is a good opportunity for doctoral students. Some of my doctoral students use this way to publish, and it is often a short way to publish. Okay, I have not too much time. So I would say that, well, I have some recommendations regarding abstract. You will see some examples, what a graphical abstract is about, which now is quite in fashion. The introduction, I told you that it is a very difficult part to write. So I think that an introduction should be an excellent motivation of the research. So it should show clear evidences that what it is intended makes sense, and it would show what it is sold and where there is opportunity and add value. And the objective must emerge in a natural way, with not abrupt changes in the way you are writing. You have some examples of some recent papers that I have co-authored with some of my students, doctoral students in the last year. So you have examples. Some recommendations about the method, so you have there. It's very important that the method is aligned with the objective. This is very important because some methods are not, and with the data too, with the source of data you have. Some methods do not match with the data you have. So you have to adjust it, and you have to be honest and realist, and this is very important. For example, in the method, it's very important to explain very in depth the method and the different steps that you are following, so that anyone who can repeat your research can do it and obtain the same results. Replication is extremely important. And many journals now are paying special attention to this, to the replication process. They try to replicate because in the last years we have been involved in some scandals about false publications using false databases. So apart, they are asking you for your source of information, and they try to replicate your analysis to see if the results are okay or not. So this is important. Yeah, I know I have to. You just recommendations. Yes, yes. So just thank you. I will send this to Angela, so that she can make it, send it to doctoral students, and I think it could be useful for them. Yes, yes. You can do it. You can do it. Yes, perfect. Thank you to you.
I guess it's coffee time now. It's coffee time now. Thank you for being with us. Thank you so much.
I think I got this go out. This one,